Round of applause for Ola.
Okay. Okay, can you hear me? Well, I think it's fine. Okay, thank you very much for the invitation here. I'm really happy to be here and to speak to you about people because from my perspective, but I think that you all know about it, people are the most important things in your company, and really they are like the most important values of the company. So let us start. Today I'm going to talk about how to put right people on the bus and wrong people off the bus, so you can drive your bus and you can do your business. My name is Ola, as Chris already said, and I'm HR marketing manager at NetGuru right now, but I'm also about to start my own consulting company, which HR as well. I'm used to work on my own startup, so I'm much familiar with the startup community, and I'm really love to work with startups. Okay. So today's presentation, I will divide it into 3 parts. So we start with the acquisition, then we go to retention, and then we go to farewell. Because acquisition, I would like to tell you what kind of methods you can use to build your team and to create a good team, and how to get new candidates to your team. Then retention. It's very important to know how you can keep your people together and your team. And then we will talk about how to say goodbye, because saying goodbye in a good way is also very, very important. Okay, let's start with the acquisition. There is a Jim Collins. I don't know if any one of you heard maybe about the book Good to Great. Is there anyone? Yeah. Okay, and he said exactly the words I was already mentioned, that the most important part is first to bring good people on the bus and then wrong people off the bus, and so you can drive your car and you can go together and do your business. And so I think that it's a good idea to start with the questions at the beginning. So always start with why, and ask yourself, why do you want to grow your team? How big you want to have your team? And is it what you can achieve by bringing new people on your board? If you bring more people, if you have the founders, you need to focus on vision, you need to focus on goals. And once you can share your duties, because at the beginning probably you work as a PM, a project manager, a salesperson, and so on. You wear many shoes and at once. But once you will be able to share your role with other people, then you can focus on vision, and then you can move your company forward, which is very important. And the second question is, who should join your team? I think you should start also thinking about what kind of people you want to join, what kind of people you want to have in your team. So, for example, there are people who are necessary, and what kind of people are unnecessary from the point of view of position, of course, what kind of position you need, what kind of people you need, but also from the personality point of view. So, for example, for sure you don't need to hire people you dislike, and that's the culture fit is a very important issue also. So you need to pay attention for those things, because mostly you can learn people, you can teach people a lot, but the most important part is to have people, to work with people who you really like. Okay, there is a saying also, fire fast, hire slow, which means that if you want to have right people in your bus, you need to be focused on those people who really bring a value to your company. That's important, I think. Okay. So what methods can you use to hire new people, to attract new candidates? For sure, when I speak with different startups, with different companies, for example, even software house, for example, then I always ask, what is your value? Because there is a lot of software house who do mobile apps, web applications, and so on. And I always ask them, what is your unique value? What is your unfair advantage? What you can tell to your candidate to attract the person, and why the person should choose your company. That's the first thing you should start with. Also, talk about your company culture, I was mentioning about it before. You need to be focused on what kind of about you need to be conscious about your culture, what kind of people you want to have in your team, and present your product, because you can also attract people who believe in your product, believe in your vision, believe in your company. And one of the methods is also to show your team. There's a lot of many ways to do it, but people attracts people, and they if you show your team, show your culture, company, then you can start attract the best candidates. And also, this is a thing what people sometimes, because people who are more focused on achieving the goals, they forget about celebrating the success. That's very important. The success doesn't mean that you need to achieve already like $1 million or something like that. It can be small success which is the best for you and what you were working hard to achieve it. And it's good method also to say about it to people. Okay. Talking about methods is a really huge topic. We can speak a lot about it. Last time I had a presentation only divided, like only about methods, how to get new customers. We can new clients, of course, new candidates. Sorry, but one of the best things what you can do without huge budget is doing inbound marketing and using social media, blogging about the tools you use, about how you work, about what you do, and this is a really powerful and a powerful tool to get new people on your board. What can be us? Okay, like imagine you as when you focus on your startup and you do some internet things, then you focus more on being online. But it's also very, very good to get up and start doing also offline. Maybe at the beginning you want to be able to join job first because it costs a lot of money, and maybe at the beginning you don't see value here, but you can join different tech events. You can be a speaker on different events and give presentations and so on. For example, at NetGuru, before we start, I've been working there for almost 2 years, and before we starting doing HR marketing, then our founders, Victor and Kuba Filipowski, they were very present on different tech events and tech events in general. And when I was meeting people who joining our interview that time, like 2 years ago, for example, then very often told me that they know NetGuru because of the presentation, because they heard about people who because there were people who were joining the different events. So that's very also important, and is a good way to attract and to build the trust. And if you tell with passion about things what you are doing, then you can attract really good people. So sharing knowledge is very important. Okay, what else you can do? What else? Invest in company branding. Maybe at the beginning, I don't know like how developed are your startups already, but maybe at the beginning you are not so much interested in this, in building a brand and private branding and so on. But you need to remember that this is a long-term process. So once you start here, then it takes like it takes months to build it, and even sometimes years. But it's important to be aware about it and to ask yourself, do you really need it? And of course, there's also a way to show your values, to show your goals, and and building the trust, which is very helpful once you want to hire good people. And benefits. Okay, like when I speak with software houses, different software houses, for example, they always tell me that they need developers and they want to hire many developers at once, which of course is impossible because everyone wants developers on the board. But the thing is that you can attract the candidates with different methods, and benefits are very important. But like if you look at the money is not as important as other things, because nowadays people want to do good. I mean, we are still talking about good people who are good employees. They are people who are looking for passion, who are looking for doing something what value and something what is interesting. So, and the same when you look at the small team. For a lot of people, there is a huge opportunity to grow because you have no ceiling effect. There is nothing what you can. You have a lot of opportunity to develop yourself, to grow, and so on. So this is a huge, I think, huge advantage for startups to attract good people. Okay, methods. Of course, when you already are ready to attract new candidates, you already attracted new candidates. Then you need to be sure that candidates take a look at your website. So you need to be prepared from this point of view also, and take care of candidate experience. I don't know, like, if you're familiar with the candidate experience itself, but it's building the trust and building a good atmosphere, a friendly atmosphere during the interview and whole process of recruitment. So that's why it's good to start with building the employer, like your brand here at the point of during the interview, and don't make it too stressful. Just be fair and respectful, and also respond quickly and provide feedback. People maybe are not so much prepared, in my opinion, to get the feedback, but it's very helpful, and we also can help to teach people how to be better employee in the future. Okay, now let's go to the retention. There is a saying also that talented people who develop your skills are the most important resources. We were mentioning about it before, and there are some things again about the values. Values are important. Having values are important, but the most important part is to implement those values and put them into action. So the more rules you have, of course, you need to implement them in a friendly way, but the more rules you have and the process is more clear, then it's easier for you and for your employees. It's the same like, for example, with the kids. When you have kids, you also need to have some rules, and it's easier for both sides to do amazing things. And also, one of the ways how to keep people in your team is to involve employees in important decision making. People want to have decision nowadays, and they want to bring value to the company. So that's a very important part, and it's good to remember about it. Then organize one-to-one meeting. People want to know what they can do next. They want to get the feedback. And always, what is important from the founder's point of view, you need to be always prepared to the meeting when you meet with your employees. But despite the fact that we are founders, we need to also remember that we are always human, and we need to treat our employees as partners as well. So don't focus only, like 98% is good to be focused on vision, of course, and the business and so on. But there are also 2% for other stuff. So it's good to organize the community, organize some meetings, help maintain good work-life balance. That's a very important part of people. Then your workers will be better in your work. And feedback again. But giving feedback is a good idea, but also better maybe idea is to get feedback from your employees. So you can develop your company from the point of view from employee branding point of view. Create a space for coming up with ideas, because this is another point. People want to have an impact to the company, so think about how to give a space to your company, to your employees, in order to just coming up with the ideas. I don't know how many of you use Trello. Is anyone? Okay, yeah. So Trello is excellent for hiring, for everything. Actually, I use it for many purposes, but Trello is also good for, we can create a board on Trello to coming up with ideas for employees, and then you can discuss with your team about it. Okay, and the very important point is to never give unfulfilled promise. This is something what people dislike, and then this is the thing what people, when people lose your trust. Okay, and the third part, farewell. I mean, how to say goodbye in a good way. Imagine that you as the founders, maybe because I heard also sometimes, I hear sometimes from other from companies that I work with, then paying too much attention for people who no longer work with us, it is no make sense. It does not make sense because they are no longer together with our team. But it's not true, because community is small, especially if you have employees in one city, for example, but even on online things also matter. So. So having, saying goodbye in a good way is very important, because people are still in touch, and it's good to have good relationship also with the former employees. And how you can do it? So start with retrospective. Ask yourself, ask other employees what went wrong, what maybe it was a problem with hiring, maybe you failed, maybe your recruitment process failed, something like that. But maybe it happens something during work. So be aware of it, and then organize exit interview in order to do this retrospective better. Get feedback again, but most important thing is try to keep it positive, because people sometimes need to say goodbye, and it's nothing wrong. You can go with you can drive your bus further. Okay, so summing up, I have a few ideas. If you want to hire good people, you need to be quick, because there's a lot of people who are waiting, especially in IT industry, people wait for your employees as well. So you need to be quick. Then forget about huge budget. You can do a lot of money without spending a lot of, you can do a lot of things without spending a lot of money. But once you get good employees on your board, then you can also you can increase your budget, because you have business plan is working there, and cultivate company culture. So the thing, once again, not only to have the values, but to put them into action and to cultivate them. Always be learning. Don't be afraid about mistakes, because even in hiring, it happens. Especially when you hire as a first time for particular offer, it happens that you can fail, but don't worry, it's normal. And move fast, break things. I mean, do experiments. Don't be afraid of doing experiments. For example, our experiments at NetGuru was when I was hired to NetGuru, it was experiment, because we had no position like HR marketing manager, and but it occurred that we went we did our plan. So it happened. It's okay to do it and to try do new things, and also invest in personal branding if you need it. And I believe that most of the company need it. Invest in it, and remember that this is long-term investment. Okay, thank you for now. That's all. Thank you.